Hello classical music lovers, I'm Matthew Muckey, and welcome to the Classical Music News channel. Today we're diving deep into a disturbing scandal that has rocked one of the world's most esteemed orchestras, the New York Philharmonic. Recent investigative reports in Vulture by Sammy Sussman have shed light on allegations of sexual misconduct involving two principal musicians, Associate Principal Trumpet Matthew Muckey and Principal Oboe Liang Wang. Their reinstatement after being previously fired has drawn criticism and controversy, shaking the classical music world to its core. In July 2010, during the Philharmonic's residency at the Bravo Valley Music Festival in Colorado, one of the ensemble's newest members, Cara Kizer, joined a post-concert gathering at an apartment rented by a fellow musician. Kizer accepted an invitation from Muckey and Wang to join them for a drink at Muckey's condo. The next morning, she awoke naked in Muckey's bed with no memory of the previous night. Kizer alleges that she was drugged and sexually assaulted by Muckey and Wang. She reported the incident to the Vail Police Department, leading to a controlled phone call where Muckey admitted to some involvement, but claimed the sex was consensual. Although Muckey's DNA was found on Kizer's tampon, the district attorney declined to prosecute due to a lack of concrete evidence regarding the alleged drugging. Meanwhile, Kizer faced increasing hostility at the orchestra. Her support network dwindled as other female colleagues like Amanda Stewart faced repercussions for siding with her. Both Kizer and Stewart left the Philharmonic after being denied tenure, believing their accusations against Muckey and Wang had influenced the committee's decision. Fast forward to 2018. In the wake of the Me Too movement, the Philharmonic initiated an independent investigation led by former federal judge Barbara S. Jones. Her team found credible evidence of sexual misconduct, leading to the dismissal of both Muckey and Wang in September 2018. However, an arbitration process overseen by Richard Bloch, a high-profile attorney and labor arbitrator, reinstated both musicians in 2020, citing insufficient, clear and convincing evidence, despite Jones's findings. This decision was met with profound disappointment by the Philharmonic. Despite their reinstatement, public scrutiny has remained high. In a recent expose by investigative journalist Sammy Sussman, more details of the scandal were revealed, prompting the Philharmonic to suspend Muckey and Wang again in April 2024. New Philharmonic President Gary Ginstling acknowledged the orchestra's limitations due to binding arbitration agreements but emphasized the need for change. Furthermore, Local 802 Union President Sarah Cutler has vowed to combat the culture of complicity that has plagued the Philharmonic for too long. Reflecting on this case, it is clear that the New York Philharmonic needs to reopen the investigation and ensure that justice is served. It's appalling and concerning that such stories continue to emerge from the orchestral world. The bravery of Cara Kizer and Amanda Stewart in speaking out should inspire greater transparency and accountability within the Philharmonic. This story deserves wider recognition for several reasons. First, it demonstrates the systemic failings in protecting musicians from misconduct, particularly within prestigious organizations like the New York Philharmonic. Second, it highlights the troubling imbalance of power between tenured and non-tenured musicians, which can foster a culture of silence and complicity. In my opinion, the path forward could look like this. The New York Philharmonic could initiate a new independent investigation with a transparent process. Do you think they should review and revise their internal policies for handling sexual misconduct allegations? Maybe establishing an independent oversight committee to monitor workplace behavior and promote a safer environment would be a crucial next step? Maybe they could collaborate with the local 802 union to develop training programs aimed at preventing misconduct. Furthermore, might the Philharmonic consider reinstating Cara Kizer and Amanda Stewart as potential candidates for future positions or engage them in upcoming programs? That would be such a great move to reaffirm their commitment to a transparent and just environment. And what about Cara Kizer and Amanda Stewart themselves? How do you feel about them continuing to advocate for safe and supportive environments within the orchestral world while partnering with advocacy groups to raise awareness about sexual misconduct? Meanwhile, do you think it could be beneficial for Matthew Muckey and Liang Wang to step back from their positions during the investigation to avoid conflicts of interest? In light of this scandal, the League of American Orchestras, which plays a significant role in guiding the orchestral community, recently issued a statement expressing its deep concern for the safety and well-being of everyone connected to orchestral music. The League emphasized that preventing and addressing sexual misconduct requires sustained collective action across the classical music ecosystem. They are promoting resources from RAIN, the nation's largest anti-sexual violence organization, and providing orchestras with best practices to prevent misconduct and build a culture of allyship. Furthermore, the League is accelerating its Inclusive Stages coalition work to reform tenure and audition procedures, and expanding support for inclusive workplaces. Their commitment to changing the culture that leads to exclusion and harm is commendable. Moreover, a growing list of composers, performers, educators, and allies have signed an open letter urging the New York Philharmonic to release past and present members under non-disclosure agreements. The letter, published by Composers Collective on Medium, calls for the orchestra to immediately free Cara Kizer and other members from their confidentiality mandates, which are seen as a direct contradiction to the Philharmonic's promise of transparency. As the letter emphasizes, until all members are released from these agreements, any third-party investigation is hamstrung, and working conditions for all orchestra members remain unsafe. Ultimately, this scandal should serve as a wake-up call for the classical music community. Musicians, administrators, and patrons must work together to establish a culture of safety and respect. It's time to break the silence and demand accountability at every level. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation. What steps should the New York Philharmonic take to ensure justice is served? How can orchestras better protect their musicians? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, this channel exists because of your support. If you'd like to keep receiving content like this, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to receive the most recent news updates from the realms of classical and Broadway music. Thank you for joining me on this special report. Stay tuned to the Classical Music News channel for further updates on this developing story and other significant news in the world of classical and Broadway music. Please share this video with your colleagues to raise awareness about this outrageous and still evolving story. This is the time to enforce the change and make impact. Until next time, I'm conductor Maxim Kuzin signing off.